sad day for Star Wars fans because it looks like we're not going to be getting a Battlefront 3. Let's talk about it. IGN writer Tom Henderson broke the news saying that Battlefront 3 was pitched and not likely to be made. He shared all this information on Twitter, and that's where everyone's covering it from. So, like always, we're going to go to the source. We're going to go straight to Twitter, and we're going to get our information from the source. Always go to the source, guys. Anyways, we're just going to read it straight and talk about what this might mean. Battlefront 3 was a pitched title from DICE, but ultimately the title was shot down by EA due to licensing cost. It got turned down because it takes 20% more sales to make the same money, said one past developer. Although it seems that DICE is not working on Battlefront 3 and instead another Battlefield, there are currently 2 Star Wars titles in development under EA. But it appears that these titles are more story-driven single player instead of multiplayer. Since several key developers that worked on Battlefront series have since left DICE Studio in the past year, including the likes of, and I'm not going to say their names because I can't pronounce them, but they lost their creative director, their core gameplay designer, and lead hero designer. Says that would indicate a Battlefront 3 is very unlikely. I've seen the build file for DICE's next title in October, currently just dubbed Dev Next, which indicates that the title has passed Gate 0, which is its conceptual stage. This stage usually takes a few months of time. These processes are standard throughout game development, and although it might appear counterproductive to start pitching concepts on one title before the other has launched, it did not take away from the development time of Battlefield 2042. As development of their next game continues, most Frostbite devs left October 29th, with other studios leaving soon after. I will keep everyone updated. It should also be said that the development can change at any given time that the next title has started development. But if Battlefront 3 ever gets greenlit and starts development for whatever reason, I'll break the news. So this is the information that everyone has been talking about. This is, the source of the info that I always say to check out. But now, this is my interpretation of this data. So if we jump into it and we see that it was pitched but shot down due to licensing costs, it takes 20% more sales to make the same amount of money. This makes sense. This is why they so heavily started pushing Anthem and even started pulling people off of Star Wars Battlefront 2 and putting them on the Anthem team. Anthem was their own IP, and if they could build it up to be something great, they would reap the benefits of all those proceeds. They could throw in all the loot boxes that they wanted, and it's just all EA just eating up all that money. I never got to play Anthem. I didn't care about it, and I was actually a little disappointed that they were pulling people off of Star Wars Battlefront 2 because the game was in sore need when this was happening. But it makes sense. They're just trying to make money. We always, we look down upon EA because they are a big, giant, faceless corporation that's just money hungry and power hungry, and that's what they are. So if you like what they do, they're going to respond to the money. I do think us as fans do have a part to play in all this, though. There's a lot of reactionaries that kind of sensationalized stories. When Battlefront 2 first came out, everyone was talking about how the game was pay to win. It was pay to win, pay to win. It was the most downvoted thing on Reddit of all time, which is super weird considering that there is like some really evil, bigoted, crazy stuff on there, and this was the most downvoted. That makes me kind of scared for humanity, but this was all greatly sensationalized. This game was never pay to win. Yes, you could buy loot boxes and you could get a random drop, and you might end up with a random epic drop, but it didn't actually cut down any of the time. You still had to grind the same amount in order to get to legendary items, and it really didn't change all that much. Even now, some of the late guns and stuff that you get, don't make a big difference. Some of them are worse than the ones that you unlocked previously. Overall, the expense of them having to rip the spine out of the game and put a new one in was pretty damn high. And any of these games that run as a game as a service is always going to cost a lot of money going forward. And so if they weren't going to sell more expansion packs for it, and they couldn't sell loot crates anymore, this was going to be a loss for them. They are still working on 2 single-player titles, which, in my opinion, that's better for me. You know, hopefully one of these is the continuation of the story that we got in Jedi Fallen Order, and yeah, whatever the other one is awesome. Makes it so much easier because you don't have to worry so much about game balance and keeping the servers online and tons of updates and hot fixes and building, you know, these roadmaps. It's a lot easier if it's just a single player game campaign, right? A lot less interactions and things that you have to plan for. It's also important to note that they no longer have the exclusive title. We have other studios already in the works. You know, Ubisoft is making an open Star Wars game, and it's the same people that worked on The Division that are building this game. Like, there's so much possibility. So I'm not too worried about it, and it might even be better if another studio creates Battlefront 3. I just want to play as Ahsoka. I'm sorry, like, to not have Ahsoka and Ventress as 2 double wielding is just dumb. You know, it's irresponsible. they gave us BB-8 before they gave us Ahsoka, which is kind of crazy to me. But that's off topic. We are probably not getting a Battlefront 3 from DICE, from EA. Doesn't mean that we won't get Battlefront 3 from somewhere else, and it also doesn't mean that they're going to stop production on Star Wars games. So our future is still bright, but something that we thought was a slam dunk with Battlefront 3, something we thought was obvious, isn't. So when releases and stuff come out and they don't go our way, let's make sure that our responses are appropriate to what's happening, because they do notice, and sometimes if you play stupid games, you get stupid prizes. So all in all, while it's sad that we're likely not getting Battlefront 3, we still have a bunch of other projects coming on the horizon to look forward to, and it still is the best time to be a Star Wars fan because we're getting a ton of amazing content all of the time. I'm excited to see what these 3 single-player things are, because that's my preferred method of playing anyways. Sorry, everyone else, but Jocko's happy. But yeah, I mean, with that, I'll bring this video to a close. Thank you for watching. Like, share, subscribe, and do all the things. May the Force be with you always.